Today, Norway boasts a GDP per capita that falls behind only Switzerland and a handful of micronations. It sustains this high level of wealth while maintaining exceptionally robust worker protections. Only 3% of Norwegian employees work very long hours, a stark contrast to the American average of 33%. This animated data comparison reveals an even rarer achievement. Across the OECD, top earners typically make 10 times the income of the bottom fifth. In Norway, that gap drops to just 4 times. The wealth is distributed across the population with remarkable precision. Go back to the 1960s, though, and the picture looks entirely different. At that time, Norway was a modest economy, heavily reliant on fishing, with a total economic output similar in size to developing nations like Bangladesh. So how exactly did a quiet fishing nation turn into a global financial superpower, boasting extreme income equality in just a few decades? The answer starts in 1969, when a ship called the Ocean Viking struck oil in the North Sea. The scale of the deposit was staggering. Within a few years, the region was producing 1.6 million barrels of oil every single day, making Norway the top per capita oil producer in the world. Historically, a sudden windfall of natural resources of this magnitude is incredibly dangerous. It introduces what economists call the resource curse, a flood of sudden cash that causes severe hyperinflation, breeds deep political corruption, and ultimately ruins the national economy. Norway was handed a geological lottery ticket that mathematically should have destroyed them. The true marvel of their economy is how they engineered a way to survive it. The first trap of the resource curse is extraction. Typically, large foreign oil conglomerates sweep in to pull the resource out of the ground, siphoning the vast majority of the profits back to private, international shareholders. Norway's immediate countermove was to establish a publicly owned and operated state company, Statoil. This legal framework ensured that every drop of oil pulled from the North Sea translated to direct revenue for the government, keeping the capital entirely out of private corporate hands. By nationalizing the initial extraction, Norway secured the foundation of public wealth, shifting the immense financial power from private boardrooms directly to the Norwegian people. Securing the money introduced the second massive trap, the overwhelming political temptation to spend it. A government flush with billions in sudden cash faces immense pressure to immediately slash taxes and fund massive vanity infrastructure projects. Instead of spending the windfall, the government funneled it into the Sovereign Wealth Fund, holding roughly $200,000 for every citizen. A strict internal defense mechanism legally prohibits the government from touching that core principal pool. They may only spend the smaller stream of profit generated by the investments. Pumping billions of investment returns locally causes severe domestic hyperinflation. The fund solves this by forbidding investment inside Norway. Capital flows strictly outward into foreign markets, entirely insulating the domestic economy. The fund is further restricted by strict ethical guidelines, explicitly banning any investments in fossil energy, weapons manufacturers, and companies that violate labor laws. These compounding, inflexible rules turned a finite, dangerous pool of oil into a self-sustaining financial engine, insulated from the risks of the domestic economy. Because the government stubbornly refused to use the oil money to subsidize daily life, Norwegian citizens face an incredibly high cost of living. Look at this direct visual comparison of consumer goods. A new base model Volkswagen Golf that retails for roughly $20,000 in the United States scales up to a punishing $36,000 in Norway. On top of these inflated retail prices, everyday citizens and local businesses still pay some of the highest income and corporate tax rates in the world. Living inside a carefully managed macroeconomic model results in an expensive month-to-month reality for the individual. So why does the population universally accept these punishing taxes and high prices without revolt? Because those high individual costs buy absolute economic security. Thanks to the insulated wealth of the state, citizens receive fully subsidized, debt-free education, comprehensive welfare, and they never face the threat of medical bankruptcy. Should every struggling nation simply copy and paste Norway's economic policies to fix their own economies? No. This model is impossible to replicate unless a nation first wins the geological lottery of a massive, unexploited natural resource boom. Norway's stability is built on the relentless, agonizing discipline required to leave a massive windfall untouched.